Oh, there it is. So that was this one here, was it?
This beautiful Peugeot will come and sit here in this car park.
The other day I mentioned that we had someone interested in the car and that it was from overseas, and I felt a bit sus about it. And there's been a lot of chit chat and clearing and understanding of the situation discussed. The gentleman who's interested in the Peugeot is very genuine. His father owned a car in the early 80s. The car meant so much that I think Murad is his name, if that's pronounced correctly, mate, I hope that's okay, has been on a quest or a search every day on Google to find himself a Peugeot 504. He stumbled across the YouTube channel and has been watching the series and reached out to me. Singapore and Malaysia have very strict import regulations and high taxes on vehicles. The figures were something like 10,000 US for the import license, which is more than the car. And that's what was throwing me, and then he wanted to split the car. Anyway, we've sorted all that out. I've had a chat to the gentleman. We've ironed out the bugs, and it's not going to be an easy process. Murad's done up an agreement between the two of us about the value of the car, some information that we need. We require a certificate of registration. So I've got some old ones, I think. We're going to look at that. I'm going to try and photograph that today. Engine number and a photo of the engine number stamped on the block. Chassis number, same thing. I've got the chassis number, but he wants a picture of it stamped in the metal, not on the plate. And then an agreement upon acceptance, he will put a deposit down. So we're just sort of trying to legitimize this and prove that everyone's above board, and then we're going to move forward. So this morning I've put together, I'll show you actually. So what I'm going to do from now on with the cars, if I can, is put together like a nice little dossier for the client, or for the car, that goes with the car to the new client, the new owner. I managed to get together quite a bit for this car. We've got our original books. There's no actual service logbook in there, but we've got our original 504 logbook manual, right? All the how-tos. She's a little tired, but it is 42 years of being used. There's also, this is pretty cool actually, dealers. So this is a dealer's registration worldwide. Look at that. Egypt, Mozambique. Oh, that's pretty cool. So that's the original, that's with the car. We've still got that. We've got original registration. Well, not quite the original. It's a second year, 78. I'm guessing maybe 79, 80. So second year registration papers back in the 80s. So the first one is 1980. We've got that there. Registration in 1980 for a year was $368 in Australia. We've got that. That's the original owners. The car was a family car. It went from mum and dad down to the kids. That's just some metric conversion thing. I just put it in. It was in the car. We've got like a Haynes manual there as well on servicing and part repair and replacements. So I've got a pile of receipts here, some of the servicing records that I could get hold of. It's not all of them, but there's a fair chunk there. It's about 10, 20 years worth. We're going to go down to the car and get some photos as well, and we'll send all that off to Murad and see if the importer is happy with that. Yesterday I took a photo of the plate, you can see there, but they're worried that the plate won't match what's actually stamped in the car. So the stamp on the car is quite literally beneath it. So I've got to photograph that, and that's meant to match the plate and all the registration details. If it doesn't, we're in trouble. And then down on the block, somewhere down on near the engine mount, we're going to see another number stamped. So I hope I can find that. The engine number is stamped on the piece of the block that mates to the left-hand side engine mount just below the battery tray. Oh, there it is. Here's the number stamped on the side here. 2667255A. Snap with the trusty old phone. We must have these matching numbers, otherwise the license will not be issued to import the vehicle. Really important. So let's go to the chat I've been having with Murad. So here he is. His family's involved, his kids are filming him. This is fantastic, this is awesome.
Hi guys, today's a great day. I managed to get hold of the owner of this beautiful Peugeot 504 in Brisbane, Australia. So after a few months looking, I think I found the gem I was looking for. So yeah, I'm making this first video because this is where supposedly, after a couple of weeks, this beautiful Peugeot will come and sit here in this car park.
How good's this? If you had told me that someone in another country would watch my videos, like the car, and it actually matches what they're chasing, and I end up exporting a car to somebody. Project number 3, first big project, and that's the results. If you remember correctly in the videos, I needed to replace the door rubbers, which I still haven't done. So I'm going to go and do that today, hopefully. I'm going to try to get down to a place called Clark Rubber, where they have apparently the correct door rubbers and seals in stock. I just buy it by the meter. So I'm going to get the old girl going and we're going to head off. I've also got to look at, so if you remember, they had the rear louver. These are the little clips that stick on the windscreen, the rear window, and then the screws on this screw into this hole and it attaches it all together. The car is missing several of those. I think I'm going to go and get the door rubbers if I can, and I might go to my boys at Autobarn and see if we can find some of these babies. So when we're starting this thing now, I think it works. We go choke out, accessories, couple of pumps. I go half in with the choke, and let's fire it up and see. Oh, look at that. There we go, that's better. Probably the last time I'll get to drive the old girl if things keep moving forward with the sale. She goes well. Clark Rubber, yes indeed. So that was this one here, was it? Hope you guys well. Thanks, mate, appreciate that. Well, we don't have it stock. I'm going to check it on eBay, and if they don't have it on eBay, we're just going to leave it, I think. The deal is pretty much done and dusted. Spoke to Murad last night. He believes that I should have full payment by the end of this week. Then the car will be picked up, literally at my front door, so I don't have to do anything. It's been fantastic. I did go and get those rubbers as you just saw, but I've been pretty slack and I haven't done anything, and it's been a couple of weeks, so other things are happening, you know. So we are going to install those rubbers today, and I'm going to get that spare tyre, which has been sitting there, back on the car. Well, let's get into it. Out with the old and in with the new. Just be sure it makes it easy if you use some soapy water, like detergent and water, to rub it around the frame itself where the rubber slips on. And a big shout out to Clark Rubber for the help. Thanks, guys. It is on and done and dusted, nice and squishy and new. Let's close the door and see how it sounds. Watch out, puppy. Oh, it's actually a bit harder to close. Oh. Wow. Impressive. All right, next on the agenda, spare tyre. Now that spare tyre, such an easy job, but I just kept putting it off. And I've forgotten which way it went in, but I sorted it out in the end. I thought I was done, but I forgot. I've got to get that louver on. I'm not going to source any new parts for it. These things, I've got one here spare. I'm going to peel that off, put some new double-sided tape on it, put that on the car, and she'll be right. Better get rid of that, eh? Yes, we do need to get rid of the sign writing. It is no longer for sale because we have sold it. Yay! So we're going to wipe that off before we get that louver on. We got 1, 2, 3. We might put this over that side, I think. With the old knife, we try to remove as much of that old double-sided tape as possible. In the end, I just gave up. It didn't really matter. It turns out you can slide the clips under the chrome fitting around the window and underneath the rubber, and that helps hold it in. But the double-sided tape didn't go straight. Now it's time to get some photos. Yes, we've taken them before, but that was for the advert when we were selling the car. Now we want to make it look beautiful for you lot out there. Let's get some good pictures in memory of the 504.